I'm Salinas Vecinus of the Mages Guild, and I'm so pleased to make your acquaintance. He turned up dead. I guess someone finally got tired of his crazy behavior. The guild has quite a few connections, and it always helps to know the right people, wouldn't you say? You should think about joining. I don't know what Archmage Traven has against necromancy, but the first thing he did after taking over the Mages Guild was to ban its practice. Have you met Adriana Berena, our Skingrad Mages Guild head? Not the most pleasant person, I'll admit. Don't mind her. Interested in training? I do the conjuration courses and Druja does the mysticism. Let's see if we can't teach you a thing or two. Be seeing you.
It's you. Hi.
What is it?
Urus the shepherd sure takes care of his sheep.
You want me? You sure? I'm Vigga. I'm Mages Guild, but I don't train or anything. Always keep your magic... Can I interest you in some of my wares? The best... Well... Be seeing you.
Oh. What? I'm rather busy right now. Oh. Is this about joining the Mages Guild? I suppose I could spare the time, if necessary. You're interested in joining? Great things will be expected of you. Are you sure you're ready for it? Then you are now an associate of the Mages Guild. You must receive a recommendation from every local guild hall in Cyrodiil before you may advance through the ranks of the guild. In the meantime, as a member of the guild, you now have full access to the guild halls around Cyrodiil. Only the Arcane University is closed to you. It's been the home of the Mages Guild for the longest time. You should see the library they have there. It's the only place worth visiting in the Imperial City, if you ask me. I only make the trip if I can't find a specific book here. There's at least one person in every guild hall who offers spells. Check at every hall to make sure you don't miss any. I'm afraid I haven't given it much thought. I'm rather busy, you understand. My research occupies nearly all of my time. Now that I think about it, I do have a small problem concerning Earthor. He's one of the guild mages here. Think you can do something about it? Excellent. I just don't have the time to search for him again, but I do need to consult him about some notes he borrowed. You might want to ask around and see if anyone can be of some help. Let me know when he's back, and you'll have your recommendation. Any luck finding Earthor yet? He's an interesting fellow. Salinas Vecinus can tell you more about him if you wish to know. Salinas should be around here somewhere. Talk to him if you'd like to know more about Earthor. Have Earthor see me when he gets back, associate.
Sexties, but who'd want to hurt him?
I can't...
I hear you got quite a task from Adriana. A nice enough guy, I suppose, but there was that awful scamp incident last year. That's when Adriana told him he needed to practice somewhere else. Somewhere else. Meaning somewhere far away. So he settled down in Bleak Flats Cave, did all his work there, and came back to town twice a week to check in. Hasn't been around lately, though. Oh dear. I just can't seem to remember where that is. What a shame. The guild can provide you with some training, but the best trainers are usually very hard to find. Please, go on. Thank you. Every little bit helps. I'm here to help.
What? Who are you? Ah, who cares? I'm Druya. You want something? Or you just practicing your Cyrodiilic? It's just northwest of Skingrad. Here, see it on the map? That's where Urthor wound up after Adrian told him he couldn't practice in the guild hall anymore. She probably doesn't even remember that. You might want to make sure she remembers, especially the part about it being her idea. I have a arch. Good luck finding Urthor.
Hi!
Anyone looking...
You're here about that recommendation, I presume. I'll need to speak with Urthor before I write it. Oh, I do remember telling him to go there. Well, we'll just have to do something about that, won't we? By we, I mean you, of course. I have something that may help. It's a basic fireball spell, in case you need to defend yourself. I'll be here when you get back. Good luck.
So I've heard.
They're all gone? I can leave the cave? Oh, thank you. I'm ever so grateful. You're heading back to Skingrad, aren't you? Could I maybe come with you? It'd be safer, I think. So, what do you say? Oh, thank you. You're just too kind. I'll be right behind you. I can't wait to be back in Skingrad, safe and sound.
How goes it?
What is it?
Yes.
I hear the shield of the Crusader's been found. It was locked away in some booby-trapped dungeon or something.
Goodbye. Yes, honored guest.
Good morning.
Where's Earth?
Adrian!
I haven't seen
I'm
him.
back! I was
He's
rescued!
probably still out of the cave.
So it would
Adriana
seem.
hasn't let him work
You're
here in a
unharmed, I
long
presume?
time.
Well,
Bye.
my pride is a little wounded.
Oh, spare me. You're lucky I bothered to send someone after you at all. In the future, would you please be more careful?
Well, yes. I'll just pack up my supplies and be on my way then. Thank you for sending someone to help me. Greetings
associate.
and salutations.
I hope I can help. I've spoken with Earthor, who seems to be all right. Good work. I'll see to it that your recommendation is sent in as soon as I have a free moment. As I've said, I'm rather busy. I'll get to it eventually, though, I assure you. Necromancy may be legal. Good day.
A pleasure to speak with you. Be seeing you.
Have you seen Glisdell and Melintus anglers together?
An honor to be sure.
What is it, associate? Do you need something? I'm afraid I can't just write one out of hand. That would be against protocols, you see. If perhaps you can clear up a small matter involving Irana, you can prove your loyalty to the guild and earn my recommendation. It's good that we're all better off now that necromancy. The Arcane University. She and I have an unpleasant history. She does not care for guild regulations and errantly believes I am misusing my powers. I have seen that she is in town. Though she has not approached me, I know she wants something. I would like you to find out what it is. Determine what she's after and how we may be rid of her. I do not want her here spreading her lies. Not only has necromancy been banned from practice in the Mages Guild, but the guild won't deal with anyone who openly uses it.
Your quest for the Crusaders' relics was the equal of any of the old tale. If you need training, I passed her the other day. You wouldn't believe the look she gave me. Whatever happened, she's taking it out on the whole guild. Have a look around. You won't find better prices in all Tamriel. You've made a fine transaction. You've made a... That seems a fair price. You've made a good bit of gold. You've made... That's more than I'd usually pay. And you drive up. Another satisfied customer. Good day.
I am Alberic Litter of the Mages Guild. I am pleased to make your acquaintance. Did you... Now... She's nothing but trouble. She went to the university long ago, but was expelled from the guild. Caused all kinds of trouble while she was there. I think Tychius was the one who finally blew the whistle on her. That'd be just like him too, always playing by the rules. Good day.
Greetings to you. I'm Carmen Litta. Perhaps you know my husband, Alberic Litta, the Mages Guild sorcerer. What can I do for you? All I heard is that she's looking for some sort of book. You'll have to talk to her if you want to know more. Goodbye.
Right.
Good for you.
Safe.
Hondatar is the name. I'm a hunter and mountain man. Haven't you seen her around town? She's either at the Grey Mare, or she's skulking around the Mages Guild, it seems. Not a nice place to visit. Those that remember still tell stories about the bad old days. About 30 years back, there was some trouble out there. Bad trouble. Legion had to be called in. People killed. Some say the Legion burned the town to the ground, but it's still there for those that go looking for trouble. Still folks living up there, but no one you'd like to meet after dark. The deer here are... Take care.
Hello.
What?
I saw Romalis Briant walking his dog.
Hello, I don't think we've met. Are you new in town? Likewise, I'm always glad to meet someone new. Welcome. I'm sure my mother would be glad to meet you as well. My mother owns Northern Goods and Trade in Coral. Goodbye.
I've never been a huge dog lover myself, but some people really...
Ah, yes, you are a guild mage, are you not? Yet different from the others. Yes, this is good. There's a small matter with which you may be able to assist. It's nothing worth involving your guild in, I assure you. Best if kept just between us, yes? So, what say you? Excellent. It's a simple task, really. All you need to do is fetch a book for me. The book is entitled Fingers of the Mountain. It is of no use to you. You won't be able to read it. I, however, can and would very much like to. You'll find it at an old ruin called Cloud Top. It's north of Coral, up in the mountains. I'm afraid I don't have an exact location. Return it to me immediately when you have it. Make no mention of it to Tychius or anyone else in your guild. I will make it well worth your effort.
How goes it?
Afternoon.
Just hasn't been the same since her eldest son died. Still, she does a good job of running.
Greetings.
What is it?
What can I do for you, Sir Knight? I've heard of it, but I don't really know what it is. Something about tapping into the power of the weather. Those aliens were pretty crazy. I don't know all the...
What can I do? What? Not only does it exist, but she knows where it is? Well, this is unacceptable. That book needs to be in the safekeeping of the guild. I trust that as a member of the guild, you would do the right thing and acquire this text before Irana does. Are we clear? Ignore her request. Go to this place she has described and return with the book. This is far more important than any petty squabble. Should you go looking for it, I hope that it would be for the... Make haste. I wish to be rid of Irana as soon as possible.
I may have a bit of a proposition for you involving the Germain family you so recently assisted. It was kind of you to escort the Germains back to Weatherly. However, the original owner of Weatherly left them an even greater legacy. In fact, there's quite a bit more to their family history than meets the eye. Want to hear about it? Excellent. Curiosity should never be denied, is it not so? And who knows, my story may prove profitable to both of us once it has come to its end. My tale actually begins with the father, Albert Germain. He was once in my employ, or should I say, the employ of my organization. He was very good at obtaining things that people did not want to part with. A professional thief, to put it bluntly. He was assigned to obtain a very valuable item for me. He succeeded, but decided to keep this item for himself. An unfortunate decision. He fled from Coral with his family, and was never heard from again. Only his small son, Reynald, was found, wandering alone in the wilderness. Naturally, my associates and I believed he had perished. The wilderness is, after all, a dangerous place. No place to take your family. Then, these many years later, voila! The brother reappears. It seems the rest of the family did not die in the wilderness after all. Indeed. What is the point of my tale? Albert Germain builds Weatherly way out in the middle of nowhere. He was a thief, not a farmer. The only reason to establish such a place would be to stay out of the Coral Guard's sight. I believe that the item Albert stole, which rightly belongs to me, was hidden at the Weatherly settlement. Unfortunately, the notorious Red Guard Valley ogres ransacked the place and probably took all of the loot back with them. If you were to obtain this item somehow and bring it to me, I would pay you very well for it. I can get you started by telling you where the ogres live. The rest is up to you. I do not care to describe it. You will know it when you see it, I think. It is not something one of the ogres should have in his possession. Gilbert and Reynald know nothing of their father's past deeds. If you want to tell them about it, suit yourself. There isn't much to tell you about Albert Germain. He was one of my best, then he got greedy. The rest is history. Beware, the Red Guard Valley ogres are not known.
Yes? You found the book? My trust in you was well placed, it seems. Hand it over, if you please. Ah, yes, this is indeed the correct book. You've not been able to open it, I presume. Then all is well. You have shown yourself worthy of the guild, and for that I thank you. You shall have the recommendation you need. Now, I must ensure this book is kept safe. Excuse me.
Hi there. Good evening. What's going on with you? I saw a mud crab a couple of days ago. Nasty creatures, but I hear their meat is rather tasty. Bye. Goodbye.
What is it, associate?
It's you. Hi.
Well met.
Been to Fire and Steel recently?
Well met.
Hi there.
I grow weary of waiting. Where is my book? What? You gave him the book? What were you thinking? And here I thought one of you guild mages might actually have a brain! All right, we can deal with this. You'll have to get it back, that's all. You're in the guild, aren't you? You should be able to walk right in, find it, and take it. And if you can't, then break in. I want that book. Bring it to me once you have it. I'll even still give you the reward I promised, despite your incompetence. Now go! Of course you will. Any progress? I believe I've made myself more than clear. Bye. Back again, are you? Do you have the book this time? Ah, wonderful. I'll just take this from you and get to work translating it. I'll need some time with this. Come and find me tomorrow. I'll be here until I've finished my work. But please don't disturb me until I'm done. This is quite a delicate business, you see.
How are you?
I must put this book. The Grey Mare isn't a bad. Take care. I must put.
Oh.
Hello.
Stay, go. What do I care?
Can't you see I'm busy? Without the translation...
How goes it?
What?
Hello, my little friend. I have something that might interest you. I've committed most of the book to memory, but I took the time to write down a passage you might find useful. It contains instructions for acquiring a very special power. You'll want to read it carefully and then return to Cloud Top. I consider this to be more than a worthy reward for your help. I believe you'll agree, assuming you're careful.
What's new with you?
I hear there were some goblins around here recently. Awful.
Good afternoon.
I hope I can help.
Why, hello there. You must be new. Oh, it's so nice to see new faces in the guild. If you ever need anything, just let me know. I have friends in all sorts of high places, you know, so I can get things done that others can't. And if I can do anything for you, I'd be happy to. Someday, maybe you could return the favor. A recommendation from me? Well, of course. Raminus would naturally want my opinion, wouldn't he? This is a situation we can both benefit from, associate. You do me a small favor, and I'll happily send along a glowing recommendation. If you can find Jaskar, I'll write the recommendation immediately. He's disappeared. I mean, he's really disappeared. No one here has seen him in days. Volinaro thinks maybe a spell backfired. If someone from the council were to stop by and find him gone, it'd look bad for me. I can't have that. Talk to the mages here and see what you can find out. If you can make Jaskar reappear, you'll have your recommendation. Please come find me as soon as you've located Jaskar. My name is... Look, I like you and all, but I really don't want to get in the middle of this. If Volinara and Jaskar want to have their fun, fine. I'm not going to participate, and I'm not saying another word about it. Take it up with them. Not... Fair enough. You too.
Your quest for the Crusaders' relics was the equal of any of the old tales. You want to find Jaskar? All right, I think I can help with that. But you have to agree to do something for me first. And whatever you do, you can't tell Jean about it, all right? That's the spirit. You help me pull off a little prank, and I'll help you find Jaskar. Really? You're going to love this. I'll teach you a spell to unlock things. What you need to do is get into Jean's desk and bring me her manual of spellcraft, okay? Her room is upstairs. Make sure no one sees you. You do that for me, and I'll make sure you can find Jaskar. It's just her... She... But we... Bring... It's... Let me know when you're done with that little task.
Hello! Well met.
Have you pulled that... You've got Jean's book, I see. All right, then. I'll just take that from you. Meet me here in the living quarters, just after 10 p.m. Ready to find Jaskar? Just watch. You'll see.
Hello there. I hear you've been looking for me.
Oh, please don't be mad. We were just having some fun.
We just got tired of Jean lording her position over us when she barely knows anything about magic. Every now and then, we like to trick her. We figured it was time to move on to a new prank. This one was getting boring anyway, so you can tell her you found me. Well, take care.
Your quest for the... it was... Bye.
Any luck found him, did you? Well, I suppose that's good. You'll have to forgive me. I seem to have misplaced something. Yes, well, let's never mind that. You've fulfilled your end of the bargain, though, so I'll fulfill mine. Ramanus will have my recommendation. And don't you forget about me once you've finished your training. I'm sure we can help each other out. Bye.
What's this about?
Hello, Associate. To earn a recommendation from me, you need simply prove you are able-bodied and prepared to learn something in the process. It's Archmage. Unlike some frivolous tasks you may be given at other guild halls, this is a serious matter and has consequences. Are you prepared? Then allow me to explain the task. The Council of Mages has entrusted me with resolving a situation along the Gold Road. Several traveling merchants have been found dead along the Gold Road recently, with even more missing. The Council has asked that I put a stop to it. You are going to help me do so. We believe the killings are the actions of a rogue mage. Battle mages have been sent to the Brina Cross Inn, the only common link between the victims. You are to travel north to the Brina Cross Inn and speak with Ariel Gerard. She will give you further instructions. It's a... this... and... Goodbye.
Oh, hello.
There's islands in Nibbin Bay no one has visited in a...
Hello, stranger. What can I do for you?
Cariel has sent you, has she not? Go and speak with Christoph. Rent a room for the night. Once you have your room, I will meet you there. If anyone asks, you are a traveling merchant, nothing more. Do not say otherwise to anyone.
No, friend. I'm afraid I don't know the way to Shadin Hall. But good luck in your travels. Please excuse me.
Greetings. Yes? It's said that eating... Good day.
Welcome to... Let me guess. Traveling on... Ah, yes, thought so. We get many of them traveling through here. Well, we used to. Haven't seen as many lately. What with the, well, you know, the murders. I don't like to talk about it much, as it's bad for business. At any rate, would you care for a bed for the night? Right then. The bed is just upstairs at the back of the inn. Sleep well. Good day.
Well met. Welcome to the inn. Where to... Farewell.
Pardon me, did I hear you say that you're a traveling merchant? Don't you worry, what with the recent killings and all? I'd be ever so scared if it were me. I haven't left the inn in days, just in case. Well, you take care of yourself. I'd hate to hear about another senseless death. Good luck to you.
Hello there. All right, it should be safe to speak here. Once you've rested here, you need to continue along the Gold Road, heading east towards Kvatch. I shall be following out of sight, along with a fellow battle mage. Make no attempts to speak to us. Trust that we will protect you. Should you be confronted by this cowardly mage, do not hesitate to protect yourself by whatever means possible. Once the mage has revealed himself, we will step in and settle a matter quickly. Now get yourself some sleep. You'll need to be well rested.
Hello.
Did I not tell you to avoid contact with us? Travel.
It is ill-advised for us to speak.
I'm afraid your journey ends here, traveler. I'll be taking whatever you're carrying. After you're dead, of course. I do hope it's more than the last few had. They were most disappointing.
I hope I... Goodbye. Yes?
So, what of the rogue maid? A she, you say? And she's dead. Well, Ariel and Roliand did what needed to be done. No more innocent deaths. At least for now. You have done well enough for yourself. I'll pass along my recommendation to Raminus. Though I must say I doubt it will do you much good in the end. You'd be surprised how easily they forget about the little people. Goodbye.
Are you? I'm Magician Orantor of the Mages Guild. I divide my time between the Cheydinhall Guild and my own private studies at Willowbank. You'll need to see Falcar about that. Be seeing you.
I'm Dizan, Magician, Mages Guild, that is. Be seeing you.
Good day. Well, be seeing you.
I'm Trayvon, the Red Guard, Mage's Guild Evoker. We don't... It's... The... Farewell.
Well met. Aren't you too?
Welcome. If you wish to...
Good evening. I hope I can help. I'm afraid you'll have to... Farewell.
It's you. Hi.
How are you?
Fantastic. Thanks for asking.
Hooray. Good day.
Goodbye. Good evening.
How are you today?
Fantastic. Thanks for asking.
Did you hear that someone played yet another prank on Jean Fosoric and Ruma? I don't know how she keeps falling for these things.
Oh.
Greetings to you.
Well met.
Well met.
Have you noticed a change in the well water recently? It tastes strange to me.
No.
No doubt.
Did you hear that someone played...
Good day. You'll have to get one from Falcar. Bye.
I had no idea.
Well met. That would be Fal... You too.
I heard the gauntlets of the Crusader are gone from the chapel in court.
Bye.
You seem quite intriguing. Please, share your thoughts. Greetings to you.
This one for you.
Hello, Associate. Hello there, Associate. You're here for a recommendation, I presume. Are you prepared to earn it? I'm afraid I haven't had time to prepare anything conventional. I'm very preoccupied with this situation concerning Ardalin. Perhaps you can help with that, however. I can't directly get involved for fear of embarrassing the poor girl. I'll need you to have a little chat with Varen Vamori, and you can learn something about the power of illusion in the process. Are you so... I'm afraid I haven't had time to prepare anything conventional. I'm very preoccupied with this situation concerning Ardalin. Perhaps you can help with that, however. I can't directly get involved for fear of embarrassing the poor girl. I'll need you to have a little chat with Varen Vamori, and you can learn something about the power of illusion in the process. Don't say anything to her. I don't want to embarrass her further. Once this is all taken care of, I'll speak to her privately. Please. I'm in desperate need of help, and I think you're the only one that I can turn to. I miss him so. We were study mates at the Arcane University, and we've come to grow fond of each other over the years. He's always getting himself into jams with the careless ways he performs his experiments, and, well, I'm afraid he's done it again. I'm going to level with you, as you seem like you wish to help. Henantier isn't missing. On the contrary, I know exactly where he is. The problem is, he's trapped and there's no way I can free him. Well, Henantier's been warned that if he strays outside the guild rules one more time, he may be up for summary dismissal. The rules say that he isn't to practice dangerous experiments at his home. It must be done in the guild under the watchful eye of an associate. Henantier's never been one for rules, and so he's continued to perform his latest experiments in secret. If word gets out, he'll be dismissed. Great. Whatever suits you and gets me Henantier back suits me just fine. When you're ready to go and see him, let me know. But please, do hurry. Are you ready? Fantastic. Let's be off then. Well, as you can see, Henantier's right here, and he's trapped in his dream world. We aren't going far, so no need to prepare for a long... I told him that trying to travel into one's own dreams is risky, but as usual, he didn't listen to me. Always has to do things his way. Henantier constructed a magical device he called the Dream World Amulet. With this device, one can enter his own mind and experience dreams. True, but this is different. When you enter your dreams with the amulet, you're in full command of a dreamlike replica of yourself. All your thoughts, your skills, and your talents travel there with you. Think of it as exploring a new land, but a land within your own mind. Henantier created the amulet to see if he could use his dreams as a training ground to help better himself. I don't know all of the details, but the amulet is a conduit to get to that training ground. It's been 3 days, and he's been stuck in his dreams. I've watched him all that time, and he hasn't been up at all. The only way to save him is to put on the Dream World Amulet and go to sleep. Only then can you hopefully find out what's happened in there. I fear that anyone he knows won't be able to help him in there. Since I'm in his memories, he may dismiss me as a figment of his dreams. The only chance is for a total stranger to enter his dreams. When you're ready to do this, I'll give you the amulet. Only I know the secret way it can be removed from his neck. My poor Henantier. You'll have to be very careful in there. If Henantier intended it as a training ground, there's no telling what you may encounter. I don't understand it. Some ridiculous male thing. Don't take this sojourn lightly. The recesses of the mind can be the darkest place of all. Are you prepared to enter the dream? Please, use the extra bed here. If you sleep too far from Henantier, it may not work. I'll watch over you both to make sure you're safe. Oh my, I almost forgot. Henantier once told me that if he's killed in his dreams, anyone that's in there with him will die as well. So do be careful. Now is a time for sleep.
My word! You startled me. Are you real? I've lost my way. This place looks so familiar, but I can't remember how I got here. Can you help me? This place is so strange. Dream world, you say? It's more like a nightmare. I don't like this place at all. I feel like I shouldn't be here. There must be an exit around here somewhere. I'd explore this place, but I'm afraid I just don't have the courage to do so. How could I be so careless? What's the matter with me? I know I've lost something. Yes, that's it. I've lost many things in this strange place. Would you please help me? Have you found an exit? We must get out of this place. We must get out of this place. We must get out of this place. Please, help me. I can't remember anything. I feel as though I'll be trapped here forever, and I don't even know why. But how? What you say must be the truth. I feel strange. I can see now what you were saying was no story at all, but the truth, and I'm a fool. I had no idea that the amulet could hold such power over me. I set out to create a way to conquer my failings, but it seems the tables had turned, and they conquered me. I don't know how you did it, but I thank you. Now, we must wake from this dream and take our places in the real world again. Farewell. It's good to see you in the real world. I'm indebted to you for rescuing me from my nightmare. I suppose thanks are only a small token of my appreciation. Allow me to reward you for your bravery. I'm afraid I don't have much in the way of coin, but allow me to present you with something that may help in your travels. The Mages Guild runs more or less like it always did, but we lost quite a few members. Farewell, friend.
Are you ready to earn your recommendation now? I'm afraid I haven't had time to prepare anything conventional. I'm very preoccupied. Perhaps you can help with that, however. I can't directly get involved. I'll need you to have a little chat with Varon Vamori, and you can learn something about the power of illusion in the process. It's more symbolic than practical, but each carries great significance to its owner. You're going to get Arteline's staff back. Take this charm scroll. With it, you should find Varon more receptive to questioning. Don't come back without that staff. Varon Vamori. If you want it, you...
So good to... Farewell, friend. Put that back!
It's you. Hi.
Can I help you? Yeah, Ursani's husband. I don't know what to say. All I want is for her to care about me, to feel the same way as I do about her. But she doesn't. I try, and it just doesn't matter. It makes me furious sometimes. All right, I admit it. I took it from her. I don't know what I was thinking, honestly. I was trying to tell her how I feel, again, and she wouldn't even stop to talk to me. I just got so angry. I was a little ashamed afterwards, but I didn't know how to apologize or give it back. I wish I could. I'm afraid I don't have it anymore, you see. I sold it to a friend of mine, Saurus Aranum. He lives in the Talos Plaza district of the Imperial City. He's the one who has Ardaline's staff now. If I still had it, I'd gladly give it back. You'll have to talk to Saurus Aranum. Tell Ardaline I'm sorry.
A visitor, yes.
What is it, associate?
Eatery. Always keep you. Have a look around. Good day.
Any luck talking with Varen Vamori yet? It should be no trouble at all once you use that scroll. He sold it, huh? Well, this just keeps getting worse. Very well. I presume he gave you some indication of where the staff is now located? Take these and go resolve the situation. And of course, please keep this just between us. Get that staff back, associate.
You have my ear, citizen.
Hi there.
Good day, stranger. Saurus Aranum is my name. As much as I like you, friend, I'm just not willing to part with that staff. It's nothing personal. As much as I... Yes? See... Thank you. How kind. Look, I can't just give it to you. I paid good money for it, after all. I'll tell you what. You give me at least a portion of what I paid for it, say 200 gold, and I'll give you the staff. That's a good deal, right? I wouldn't offer it to anyone else, just you. So, what do you say? I'll just take the money from you then, and here's your staff. Now, since our business is concluded, you must excuse me. Good day. How goes it?
I'm Erosari Aranim. Take care.
Your quest for... You too.
Greetings, listener. Come close and I will share with you the information I have garnered. For someone has prayed to the Night Mother yet again. The Dark Brotherhood must seek out an Imperial named Florentius. He has need of our services, and we are only too happy to oblige. Your speaker should look for this person in a small settlement just outside the city of Snowhawk in the Nord homeland of Skyrim. Leave me now, dear listener. Deliver this information to your speaker, so that the will of Sithis may be fulfilled. All hail our dread father.
Do you have the mage's staff, associate? Ah, wonderful. I shall be most pleased to return this to its rightful owner. Thank you. You needn't tell me the details of what was involved in getting it. It's perhaps better that I know nothing about it. Your actions for the guild more than merit a recommendation. I shall send it to the university promptly. And to thank you more personally, I shall teach you this spell. You may find it useful in certain circumstances. I do hope our paths cross again.
Delphin Gend, creator of the celebrated Enemies Explode. You too.
Hello?
Hello.
Here's a fine one. Speak freely.
Yes? Is there something I can help you with, associate? Ah, yes. I'm afraid I'm unable to issue a recommendation. Only DeGale can do that. You may try to speak to her. If it doesn't go well, come see me. Could I always keep your She's led such a troubled life. I just do what I can to make it easier on her. Good.
You really fought that Umaril creature in the sky over the Imperial City? I would have liked to have seen that. Farewell.
You seek wisdom from me, child? Ah, no, you seek words. Words are difficult. They come and go. The voices, though, so loud they are, they drown out the words. Without my amulet, my stone to lock the voices away, the words will never come and stay. Would you lift your hands to help another, to help me find the words? Then seek Agatha, child. She will see the path and set you on it. I must rest. Farewell, child.
Hello, Evoker.
What's new with you? Yes? Is there something I can help you with, associate? I take it you've spoken to DeGale. Then you know she is not well. She has visions, for lack of a better term. While they used to be helpful at times, they have lately become problematic. There was an amulet, a family heirloom that she wore to suppress and sometimes focus the visions. She's lost the amulet, and so has lost control. I'm surprised she discussed it with you. She wanted to keep it from the others. I should speak to her about that. Yes, her seer's stone is missing. It's the one thing that has kept her visions at bay, and without it, they're nearly crippling. She can't function. We haven't yet spoken to the others, for fear they would be less than accepting of her situation. Perhaps it is time, though. I will continue to tend to Gale. Can you speak with the other mages and find out if any of them have seen the stone? As some...
Go ahead. Well, well. Word is finally spreading, is it? They won't be able to keep up this facade much longer. Yeah, I know all about it. I overheard Agata and Dagail talking. And you know what? I'm glad it's gone. Why should we be forced to work under someone who's only kept sane by a magical trinket? Haven't we sacrificed enough already? She shouldn't even be here anymore. Hell, the only reason her father ever fit in anywhere is because he kept a low profile, and look what it got him. Years of service to the Empire, and not even a tombstone over his head. Humph! At least he was able to maintain the illusion of sanity. I know. I get way too fired up over this. It just annoys me that she's in charge of the guild when she's clearly not fit, that's all. What, haven't I said it? Be seeing you.
Yes? So Calthar overheard us, did he? That explains why he's been so cranky lately. But we never said anything about Dagail's father. How would he know anything about that? If there's some sort of connection between the seer stone and Dagail's father, I don't know about it. Maybe if you ask her, it will jog her memory. In the meantime, I'll keep an eye on Calthar. Goodbye. Greetings, journeyman.
Cyrodiil runs a good inn, but she's awful with her sisters.
She really doesn't seem to like her sisters. Sad, really.
Heard any news from the other provinces?
I hear all of Skyrim is under siege.
Seems it is a dire situation throughout all of Tamriel.
Good day.
Farewell.
You seek more from me, child? It is as I have seen. I know what you would ask. You would bring light to that which is in darkness, bring silence to the voices so loud. I know where you must go. Blood ran blue and dragons flew high. Under broken towers and broken bodies it now lies, waiting to be found. What was my sire's must be mine if you would have the words you seek. You must go and find his stone.
Your presence here will not be tolerated. I fought, but... Who's there?
Who's there?
Look, just stop right there, all right? I can't let you leave with that amulet. I need it right now. What, you think I didn't know what you're up to? I knew you were looking for it. I knew you'd find it, and I had to stop you. Now, hand it over. I took the other one, and that should have been enough. I shouldn't have to go through all this just to get rid of her. It's not even as if I was going to keep it forever. I was going to give it back to her once I'd gotten what I wanted. That's not so wrong, is it? Once she helped me advance out of that place and step down, then she could have it back. Why did you have to get in the way? Why are you trying to ruin everything? This is the part.
Nothing has changed, child. The voices still cry out, and I am unable to hear. If they can be sealed away, our work may begin. Found it, have you? Silenced the hands that betrayed and took what was mine? Then let me have the stones so that the voices can be shut out. Ah, child, I thank you for helping me. With the voices quieted for now, the words you seek have come to me. You shall have my recommendation. Though I must warn you, I've seen things in your future. Things which may be, and things which will be. It will be up to you to decide the fate of many. Life and death are strange things, easily manipulated, and both will be altered by your hands. Bye. Why?
I hope I can help. Always keep your magic equipment. Bye.
Good afternoon.
It sounds like there are an awful lot
Greetings,
of problems at the
Imperial.
Guild Hall. Jean does a poor job of running that place.
I had no idea.
Sure.
I think we're in for some hard times. The death of Uriel Septim and his heirs changes everything.
I just don't think about it. The Elder Council will take care of things sooner or later. What's the news from the other parts of Tamriel?
Greetings to you.
What can I do? The Mages Guild has made more than a few enemies since necromancy was banned. You'll have to get one from Falcar if you can.
Good day. That's Falcar's responsibility. He takes it very seriously. Farewell.
Hello. I hope I'm afraid you'll have to speak to Farewell.
Yes?
Have you noticed a change in the well water recently? It tastes strange to me.
Without...
Good day. That would be Falcar. You too.
It's my pleasure. You'll need... Goodbye.
I'm done talking to you. You ain't...
You seem... Good day to you. How goes it?
Good to see you.
Hail. What is it, associate? Don't tell me you're here for a recommendation. Without... By... I understand. Don't waste my time if you're not ready for this. Are you prepared to do what is necessary to gain a recommendation from me? Very well. We shall see how prepared you actually are. There was a particular ring of burden I was testing some time ago. Another stupid associate somehow got his hands on it and managed to misplace it. If I didn't know better, I'd say he purposely tossed it down the well behind the guild hall. Why he would do such a thing is beyond me. You will retrieve this ring for me. Should you manage to do so, I shall consider sending a recommendation to the university. The well is locked, so you'll need the key. Dietzen should have a copy of it. Now get moving. It's not a normal ring, you see. You may find it slightly difficult to carry. Don't say I didn't warn you. I believe I explained your task very clearly. Do you... Take care.
I have a feeling that you and I are about to become very close.
I'm Dietzen. We can talk, so long as Falcar is out of earshot. If I didn't know any better, I'd say he's trying to get you killed. He gave poor Vidkun the same task, and we never saw him again. I'm reasonably sure there's a connection, but I can't prove it. Do be careful. I'd hate to lose another useful associate. Here's the key, and something extra. I don't know if it will be of use to you, but from what I've heard of Falcar's ring, it may come in handy. And if you find out anything about what happened to Vidkun, let me know, will you? He was an associate, just like yourself. Perhaps not the brightest, but very eager. He was given his assignment from Falcar and disappeared. It's like he dropped out of existence. No one knows what happened, and Falcar won't say a word about it. Just before... Good day.
How goes it?
Yes. Have you noticed it?
I'm afraid some things have happened while you've been gone, Associate. It may affect your recommendation. Oh, just drop it anywhere. I don't think he really cared about it. I think it was some sort of sick joke on his part. I'll admit, it's my doing. I couldn't leave well enough alone, and after you'd left to go after that ring, well... I'm just so tired of the way we've all been treated by Falcar. I was worried about you and angry about Vidkun, so I confronted Falcar directly. He was furious when I told him I'd helped you, and then when I threatened to report him to the Council of Mages, I thought he was going to kill me. He flew into a rage. I didn't even understand some of his ranting, but he said that our days are numbered, and then he stormed out. I don't know if he ever wrote your recommendation. I'm sorry. I didn't expect this to happen. Perhaps you should go look and see if he did write one. You should check his room in the living quarters. If you see the note or anything else unusual, let me know. I'll gladly send it to the council. Farewell.
I had no idea. have a feeling that you and I are about to become very close.
What's this? Black soul gems? Oh dear, this is worse than I'd expected. All right, I'll just take these from you. I'll need them for my report to the council. Now, you didn't find any sort of recommendation? Very well. I shall write one myself and include it in my report to the council. In light of the circumstances, I believe they'll find it more than adequate. You've been through quite a bit, haven't you? Well, I think you have proven yourself worthy. The Arcane University awaits you now. Speak with Romanus Polus when you arrive. He will assist you.
Have you
Take
noticed
care.
a change in the well water?
What is it, Associate? Hello, Associate. It seems you've obtained the final recommendation you required. I have received recommendations from all the local guild halls in Cyrodiil. You've done well for yourself. You may now enter the university. As a full-fledged member of the Mages Guild, I now also promote you to the rank of apprentice and grant you the robe of the apprentice. Take a moment and try it on. Then we shall speak of what comes next for you.
Good to see you.
Hi there. The Fighters Guild is recruiting again. Not a bad way to make some money, if you...